Oh, but very different everything else.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to another episode of What's the Weather Outside?
Oh my god. That's so funny. Did you walk in and we're like, yep.
Yeah.
That's so
like,
funny.
We're either completely matching or
in two different hemispheres.
It's 70 degrees and cloudy is what this means.
I mean, we're both in turtlenecks.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what's funny is
that doesn't make sense. Okay, well, Kim's here, so let's shut up about the weather.
Oh, hello. Well, first off, yeah, so what... Okay, so how I want to start this off is, like, Nina pointed this out, but you have the same sun, moon, and rising as my roommate, but very different. Oh, yeah, and Venus, but very different everything else, and house placements. But your aspects also look like his. You've got all good aspects, and you've got this, like, extreme moon opposition.
Yeah, so what's the deal with your depression? You've got good aspects. Get over yourself.
Nice, Nina. You really got it.
Because, like, your placements are of a person who are, well, your moon is exalted, but everything else is just like, why am I here? Mm-hmm. In terms of placements. But your aspects are like, we're okay. We're talking to each other.
Yeah, there's like you and then like your Taurus moon.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the Taurus moon Capricorn sun combination has always meant to us like someone who just hates people and just like wants to isolate themselves in the mountains away from civilization.
Yeah, like if you've ever, especially with the Scorpio rising too, because that like adds an extra emphasis on like the evil part of it, like fuck people, like not just like, because Capricorn Taurus can have like a just leave me alone, you know what I mean? But if you've ever seen this documentary, it's about these people that what islands was it, Dan? Do you remember the name of it? That documentary you watched with the guy that was you.
Treasure of the Island Baroness. I just made that up.
That's pretty close.
But all of those
it had the Baroness in it. It was a treasure. Well, I was like some island, but basically they just like escaped to this island. It was just this couple, and they just like lived off the land and stuff. And he is a Capricorn Taurus moon, or he's a Taurus Capricorn moon. But like that combination,
it's just like I hate people.
Yeah.
And then you just said Saturn right on your ascendant.
Yeah.
And so it's in the 12th house, but it's conjunct your ascendant, which what a winning combination.
I know. So you probably get both the 12th house and first house feels of Saturn, and it's right on top. Yeah, so it's just like a whole in one. You feel all the Saturn all the time, just constant like like okay, I always picture like the pig pen, like from the Peanuts, like instead of dust, it's just sadness and gloom. Like gloom, doom, and like restriction. And do you wear any color other than black?
Red.
No, I feel like with Saturn on there.
Oh, with Saturn.
It's just like maybe gray. If I'm feeling crazy.
A deep charcoal.
Really? A deep navy. No, I am goth. There you go.
I see you've got like black lipstick.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Do you wear any other color? Maybe gray. We wear gray.
Depends on how light you're feeling. But then you said, and we see your moon is right on your descendant. So it's like, fuck other people because they give me emotions that I don't want to be having.
I have a roast. So the thing of like the seventh of a Scorpio rising in general is like your seventh house is how you see everybody else, kind of like, you know, like how you just kind of the traits you. Right, seventh house video. Anyways, so like with Taurus there, this is a drag me. You're gonna look at everybody and be like, lazy fucks. Everybody's a lazy fuck. But the worst part of having a Taurus moon there, you're like, not only is everybody else a lazy fuck, but I'm one of those lazy fucks. And I think that's one of the roots of the depression that comes from that. But you also but it being in your sixth house, I feel like having a Taurus moon with Aries in your sixth house of like. You're never like you don't relate as much to the sixth house moon video, I feel like, because you like you do relate to it all, but your constant state is that emotional whirlwind of I'm never on my routine because or like let's try to make as small as a routine as possible, and then if you have to add on anything to it, you're like, no, I don't know. But also you have Venus in the first, so you really, I feel like, spend a lot of time on the way that you look.
I think that back to the 6th house, like absolutely anything on your plate can easily overwhelm you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're just like, keep as much off my plate as possible.
For sure. What's your interception?
It's Leo Aquarius.
This is Pisces Virgo.
No, I've got Pisces here.
What time? Oh, it might be just like one of those things. What?
It's 2:57.
It might just be one of those Astro Cafe things because it's like,
okay,
it's 20. Do you consider yourself with the Leo or Leo Aquarius interception or Pisces Virgo interception?
Yeah, because we've got conflicting results.
Oh, I have also a very draggable career and I love fashion and makeup. Yeah, what's funny is I feel like the only reason why you do is that Venus in the first. I feel like none of your charts really pointing to that, and that's why you are goth, because you're like, you know what I mean? It's not like that like typical Venusian. Whatever.
Oh, you say Leo Aquarius is your interception.
Okay, so your double is then...
Double I have here is Libra Aries.
That's the double that I have too. Okay, so Leo Aquarius interception, that's the opposite of... I have double, and that just would mean like, I just find these people, I get like a weird feeling from them. Like there's this girl online that... a while ago, like I used to follow, and I always got like this weird, like something bothered me about her, and I couldn't like pinpoint what it was. And then like she put her chart up or something, like co-star, which is fucking dumb. But I think I don't know for sure because fuck co-star, right? But I think she's a Leo Aquarius interception, and I was like, that's what it is. She just copies. She's not herself. Like she's literally just like, she's getting fame from just literally copying and pasting whatever she sees, and she has no like actual like personal connection to it.
Because it's like you don't know how you were beaten down so much for your individuality that you were like, I don't know what it is anymore, how to do it.
Yeah, but I hate the like, you're definitely somebody who was probably pegged as like a copycat or something as a kid. Yeah, and you literally just don't know what other way. But with double Libra Aries, I don't know, with this double, I'm always like, how does the double help you?
I don't Libra and Aries.
Like I feel like,
oh shit, hello? If you're Spectrum, I'm going to hang up.
Yes, my name is Shaina.
Okay, I'm so sorry. It's Spectrum. Sorry, I meant to hang up, but I answered it.
It took me many years to learn to be myself. That makes sense. What was I saying? Oh, double Libra Aries. So with double Aries, whenever there's double Aries anything, all it does is overcompensate by overcompensating. Does that make sense? Like, every time that like Leo interception is triggers, instead of like, you know, being like, oh, I have double Gemini, I'm gonna think extra much about this, or, you know what I mean, I'm gonna do this and do that. Aries is like, I'm just gonna, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know this, like, you know, it's so just blindly, I feel like, grabbing at things, and so the overcompensation I feel like can be overwhelming.
And with the Libra side, it's like, since you're lacking in the kind of like standing in yourself and being yourself, and Libra is like, I'll just do whatever. Yeah. I feel like, and this might be a bit of a deep drag, but I feel like it's about, since you don't have a rooted sense of self and individuality, you latch on to kind of your aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like the double Libra talking, and Venus in the first house.
And the Uranus in the first house.
Yeah, so it's like, I'll just fit into this specific aesthetic, and that'll make up for my lack of individuality.
Yeah, and 11th house is in Libra, and that's the ultimate, like, I'll just fit into this aesthetic. I'll just do the checklist of what it is to be a goth. Like, I feel like you were like, I'm decided to be goth. What do goths do? Let's do some research, and I will do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. You know, I feel like that's kind of a weird Libra way to do it. They almost like, they don't just do anything. They like, I am going to A, B, C, D. Like,
how to be goth, WikiHow, 12 steps with pictures. I went crazy getting piercings and tattoos in the past few years.
And whenever it was, I feel like your tattoos, you're like overcompensate by getting like every tattoo is mine, even though like they're just tattoos everybody has. But you're like, no, I have a reason. But your Leo Aquarius reception is like, no. Okay, so you've got like, wow, so your like real major malefics that in astro theme are in red are all locked away in the 12th house. And look, they're really the same color red. There's no other planet that's so red, but they were like, yeah, just know that these are the worst. And like, fuck it. Oh, I love Killstar. That's Killstar. I think they're vegan. I think they have vegan shoes. I'm not for sure, but I think they do, right? I haven't bought any of their shoes, but anyways. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so your malefics are in the 12th house. So everything that kind of like gives you power, gives you like gives you lessons, like all that kind of hard shit is kind of locked away and it's all like floating up in the atmosphere. I feel like you just like explode. Oh, you're both vegan and newly diagnosed.
Why did they like block that? We had to.
Why did they block?
Vegans are just so aggressive.
No, I feel like it's the autistic thing, and they're like, they're gonna say something bad. I have a nasty fucking 12th house. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
But it's all in Libra. Oh my gosh, you know what I've realized? When Libra rules over any house, and like mine isn't like as extreme as yours, but like my 5th house is like kind of not happy, and I never realized that because like Libra's there, so it's like, no, it's fine. Wow. Pretend your interception isn't there. Pretend Pluto's not there. Pretend Chiron's not there. Like it's fine. It's Libra. Like everything is fine in your 5th house, and like that's your 12th house of like everything is fine. Like I can't let anybody know. It's just even more like 12th house, but underneath it's like
Libra 12th house energy is probably like the worst because it's both like everything is fine and like everything is fine.
Yeah. No,
at the same time, like and like
yeah. Do you see the planets are in Scorpio though? Exactly, but like your 11th house ruler is Libra, so it kind of puts, or sorry, your 12th house ruler.
Well, your 11th house ruler.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it puts this like clear, like what's not styrofoam, but like cellophane, yeah, like coating over it, and underneath it is all your like Scorpio bubbling, just like completely eroding. I feel like, I feel that makes sense, like that you would have major meltdowns because Mars is in Scorpio conjunct Pluto, and so like things just build and they hide away, and 12th house definitely has a way of like fucking coming out of nowhere and getting very angry, or not very angry, but like very extremely expressing their Mars sign when day to day they don't express it at all. So like you don't express your fucking, like you have something on everybody and like all that kind of shit, blah, 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 right? But like then it just like comes out and people like, it's just so mean because it's so unexpected. There's almost like not as much of a warning. You know what I mean? I also feel like you're the kind of person that's like, I don't know if I should trust this person. Like you've always been pegged as that person. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're like the bad guy. Like that's how people are gonna peg you. And you're like, no, I'm not. I'm this earthy person. But then you're like, oh, that's 12 hours. Just don't get me upset. But
yeah, Mercury's pretty well. Actually, I wanna dry Capricorn Mercury.
It's 0 degrees.
The thing about Capricorn Mercury is that like it takes like a wrecking ball to demolish 17 walls before you can get a fucking word out. I realized this like just going up the elevator.
Oh, you should try editing our videos.
Oh, yeah. What was the
delete? Have
if I'm doing it. If we didn't edit our videos and we had like enough of a following for people to make like meme compilations of us, it would be called Party Trick Astrology Says.
Yeah, for like 18 minutes. And like us finishing, like sometimes she'll say yeah, I'll say sometimes we'll both just say it, sometimes we'll say yeah. Like it's constant.
It's so much yeah.
Because we're always like Gotta compile.
Yeah, and just like don't say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Say it right. So I was just coming up the elevator to come to Shaina's apartment, and her elevator sucks balls. And it kept like opening and closing, and then these two people like came in, and they're like, "Is this going up or down?" And I was like, "Oh, it's trying. Whatever."
It's trying.
It's trying to do something. It's trying to go up. We'll see what happens. And anyway, we had like a little bit of chit chat in the elevator, talking about how much the elevator sucked. And I was like, cool. They got off on level 2. I went up to level 4. In between level 2 and 4. Oh, but before they left, they said like a joke that I didn't know how to respond to, or they just said something. It wasn't even a joke, but I was just like so awkward and didn't say anything after it. They got off on 2. Between 2 and 4, I was like, oh my God, I should have said this.
Oh yeah.
That's just like Mercury and Capricorn of like, don't say anything wrong. And like the thing is, if you can't say the right thing, you don't say anything at all, and then there's this awkward silence.
Yeah, like a Mercury and Capricorn will not talk if they don't have anything to say. Like, but what's interesting though is because yours is also at 0 degrees, so you speak, like you probably speak closer to my Mercury and Capricorn in the sense of like you blurt dumb shit out. Because of a Mercury and Capricorn, you know what I mean? Like, not all the time. But
I think because Mercury is how you think and how you speak,
yeah,
you might think more Sagittarian-like, and then, like, put it through a process of speaking more Capricorn.
Yeah, what I mean, I think it should just have more points. Like, you don't, like, really blurt things out.
Me?
Yeah. Like, I feel like you'd be more likely to interrupt people every now and then and blurt what you want to say out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you're more, I don't know. Whatever. Hold on, my aspects got messed up. My aspects got messed up. 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, you have a bunch of aspects to Mercury.
And it's right on top of your Jupiter and Neptune.
Yeah. So, what did you mean by well-aspected Mercury? Like, what do you like here? Because conjunctions are hit or miss.
Here's my thought about why you say well aspected Mercury. You see that conjunctions and sextiles and trines are good aspects, and you go,
you see that they're in the green on Astro Cafe, and you're like, good, green aspects. Mercury conjunct Neptune and Mercury conjunct Jupiter. I have both of these things, I believe. Mine may not actually conjunct Jupiter. I need to do the math on that. I don't think it is. But my Mercury is conjunct Neptune. And yeah. The thing with it's a blessing and a curse. Anything that Neptune is kind of doing is kind of a blessing and a curse. People sometimes don't understand what the fuck I'm saying, because and I blame it entirely on Mercury conjunct Neptune, because my Mercury, in the fact that it's in Capricorn and it's in the 7th house, is just like get everything across so perfectly, blah, blah. And then conjunct Neptune, it's like, why don't we just like throw some fog in your mind so that you don't really know what's going on? Like, this is something that's going to make you spacey. I feel like you're just a really good writer, though, because I feel like with it conjunct Jupiter and sextile Mars and Pluto and trine your midheaven, with a trine your midheaven, that's going to be what you're naturally like want to use, the planet towards your career. So like, and you have, I feel like you're just going to be really, oh my God, I feel like you have a really successful work. Shaina, this is a drag me.
I know, but I just have to say this.
She's a professional writer.
Okay, see, I had to say it because it's obvious you'd be great at it.
But here's the thing. With Neptune and Jupiter conjunct your Mercury, you're probably just like so spacey.
Oh, yeah, of course.
People probably think you're stupid, and you're like, just let me write it down, and I swear it will be poetic and beautiful and meaningful.
Yeah.
But that's like the thing with creatives, is that people are like, hi, are you stupid?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you an idiot? Because you just come across so spacey.
You have your 4th house in Lilith, so I feel like you have an unhealthy obsession with staying home, especially in Pisces, like an unhealthy obsession of staying home and being in solace.
I think that you're like one of those people who just obsesses over your wounds, obsesses over the past, and it's just like, this hurt me in the past. Like, I love the pain, but I hate it. Because that's whatever Lilith is. It's just this compulsive of like, what is the, like, why am I doing this? But it feels so good. It's that itch. Hashtag got a scratch. And so it's just like you want to revisit all your trauma, but because it feels so good and you're like, why am I doing this? This is terrible.
Something that I was literally just thinking about right now, because I said I have ADHD and people say get to the point, Kim, is like, okay, because think about the people that I know with like a water house Mars, which is also me, but like 4th, 8th, and 12th, because there's something that makes it like, it shakes up the water or something that it like, you wouldn't think that placement would be something of like erraticness, but like, I don't know, it like boils the water and it makes you go crazy. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so I feel like you're somebody who likes Jeffree Star, or at least MySpace days, like OG. I'm not talking now. I'm talking like old Jeffree Star. Also, you have a lot of your concentration of planets in your 1st, your 2nd, your 6th house, which is what I consider the houses of like your childhood houses, but like especially by having stuff in like the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd house, you can find like I find that these people are much more equipped for childhood. You know what I mean? Because then when they get to their like 9th house, and 10th house, 11th house, they don't have anything in there. They kind of already know themselves, and it can kind of feel empty and a little pointless when everything was so concentrated on what was going on in their childhood.
And I think that when that's your concentration, but then you have a personal planet in the 7th house, and I know that on Astro Theme it shows.
But it's cusping it.
But
so you probably feel it both anyways.
It's actually by 1 degree on Astro Cafe in the 7th house. And I think that based on you thinking that you're or relating to your interception being Aquarius Leo, I think that because her moon.
We must have put in a different place because this says 1350.
This is 15.
I put in British settlement, New Brunswick, Canada.
That's not it. It's White Rock, BC, British Columbia, Canada.
Oh. Okay, hold on. So keep going. I'll change it.
Right. So when you have that concentration of planets in like literally early life / the womb, but then you have a huge personal planet in the 7th house, your adult life, once you've gotten over all of the like houses 1 through whatever that your concentration is in, or really 12 through whatever, your adult life just becomes about relationships. Although maybe not so much for you because you are like such a loner.
And you're such a 12th house person. But okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's like cusping. So you probably definitely feel it in both houses.
But if you look at it on the moon,
oh no, it's in the 7th house. Yeah. I'm just saying, but you probably still feel it a little bit in the 6th house because it's like right there. But sorry about that. Everything else is the same. Let me fix the aspects. Is there anything you would like us to drag? Really quickly,
See, I'm a loner, but super close to my boyfriend.
Yeah, of course. Like that's gonna be like you're gonna have one person, like, but also so you want that one person. That's all that Taurus moon in the 7th house wants is like, to be in this relationship. But then with your Venus in the 1st house in Sagittarius conjunct Uranus, that's the most like. Can't like it's just a lot. It's hard to keep that person down, and you probably attract a lot of people or attract like with that Uranus there, like you attract a certain kind of person very quickly. You know what I mean? And I feel like you've been in quite a few relationships and you bounce from relationships a lot, considering it's conjunct Uranus in Sagittarius. You might do a similar thing of bouncing from a lot of long-term relationships that were kind of erratic while you were in them, though.
People with Uranus in the 1st house tend to attract people who have like issues of some kind.
Yeah.
Are just like whether consciously or subconsciously looking for chaos in relationships. So people see you and they're like, oh my God, you're a promise of chaos. And if their chart is calling for a promise of chaos, they'll go after you.
Yeah, they get really like, whoa, like ignited.
But really they're the one who's going to bring chaos to your life because you're just here like, I'm just portraying the chaos, Like I just got the chaos vibe, but you've got the chaos in your soul.
And you have the chaos in your soul.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to drag your career, but you said your midheaven is in Virgo, and it's beautifully aspected, and you're meant to be a writer.
Yeah,
I don't know. You have a lot of stuff in your second house, but you're probably making it happy somehow, which is ridiculous because that's a lot of shit to satisfy, but your writing satisfies all of that. So I don't know.
You said that you have a very draggable career, but from what we can ascertain from astrology,
that's your strong
career
suit.
is even if it's like weird or draggable from like a human. Oh God, what a fucking Aquarius moment I just had.
No,
from like a human
saying.
like everyday kind of point. From an astrology point, it's just like you're doing you.
Yeah, dude, and you're doing exactly what you should be doing, what your chart says you should be doing. So your moon. You also have Chiron in the 7th. So you definitely have some moons from other people going on. You definitely have some moons related to your moon, not in the sense that it's conjunct, but just in the sense of like it has the same flavor. Yeah. So you probably would get super close to somebody. Your moon, you know what I mean? Like how's it kind of go in order? Like your moon comes first, and then your Chiron comes. The person comes in your life, you get super connected, and then Chiron comes and fucks it up, and you're like, my wound, ouch, stop hurting me. I want a long-term relationship and security. Let's see here. Moon in the 7th house in Taurus, opposite Saturn. There's obviously like a definite restriction on your emotions, and like your mom and dad didn't get along. This is a drag me, and it's just sad. I don't know. Let me see. Is there somebody I can drag? Moon opposite ascendant. Is there somebody I can drag that? It's interesting just to see it on people, I think. And like, obviously I have this too. But just, you can, like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I can't put it into words. It's like, it is just like a shadow. You just see it. And it's kind of funny when people don't want you to, because like, I don't know. I want people to see my Capricorn moon, obviously, because I favor it. But like, I can tell like my roommate wants people to see, like, doesn't want people to see his Taurus moon. And it's funny when you see somebody with moon opposite ascendant trying to hide their moon, when that's the most obvious thing that you see. It's just kind of ironic. Anyways, Pluto and Jupiter are their own dignities. Signs. What did I say? I don't know. Oh, okay. You have part of fortune in the 8th house. So this is really weird, especially coming from somebody with all the Scorpio stuff. Actually, not weird. Actually, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's just weird because it's just weird. It makes a lot of sense for you though, because you, like, as somebody with an empty 8th house, except for 2 asteroids, and then all the Scorpio stuff that you have, to not have something in the 8th house is really funny, because when you're because like you have all this trauma, like you're walking just like painted on your face, like this is the trauma I have, blah 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 blah, right? But like like as a kid you wanted it because that's your part of fortune, like that's like you were like, yeah, I like it almost was like very much looked as fun, as like a way, I also think, to like collect experiences.
I think this is entirely,
you know what I mean?
How your entire trauma complex and the aesthetic that comes along with it that you've adopted, your trauma aesthetic, is entirely making up for your interception and the feeling of not knowing who you are and not having an individuality.
For sure. But also with part of fortune, it's funny because it's like every shitty Scorpio situation that you get into, you find yourself out of it really easily. And because of that, there's also the glorification of trauma, because there is, not really easily, but like,
serendipitously.
Yeah. A lot of times where like you've just been in situations, like you probably had a lot of like near-death experiences and stuff, but having that part of fortune in 8th house gives you such like a little, like such a help towards that stuff. And it's so ironic because you almost don't want it. You know?
You don't want the luck that you have.
Because you can definitely like feed off of that. And like collecting those experiences, like that Scorpio
like,
Sag.
Oh my God, you fell off the swing. We might have to put you into surgery. Oh my God, I'm going to go into surgery. I'm going to be worried about me. And then, actually, you're fine. Nothing's broken.
Yeah.
Do I need a cast for people to sign?
Yeah.
Or no, you don't even need a cast. No,
or it could even be like,
no one's ever going to be able to tell that you even fell off the swing.
Yes, exactly. Like there wasn't even an option to go to the hospital in the first place. You just were like, fuck, I have to just sit with this. This sucks. And you healed fine. And you're like, meh. Yes. Let's see here.
For people asking us other than Kim to drag specific things. This is Kim's drag me reading. So we're dragging Kim's chart.
I have something. This is just like, this sucks for you. I don't know if this is a drag, like, this sucks for you. So with Neptune in the second house, I've realized that the weird, like, thing with it is that you're going to grow into, and you're probably realizing this now, one of the best people with money. Like, you're going to grow and realize that, like, wow, I'm actually doing a great job. But that's because, like, as a kid, you were always told that you were bad with money. Like, Neptune in the second house is always going to be like, I don't trust you with money. Like, everybody's like, I don't trust you with this stuff. I don't know if I can trust you with this. Like, can you handle this? Like, you seem a little bit too scatterbrained in the area of money. I don't know if I can give you anything. And so people are constantly like, I can't trust you. And you're like, what did I do? And so because of that, like, paranoia, hopefully, I think you're a person that, like, because you're a Capricorn, I feel like you would turn that around and you turn that paranoia into, like, being very diligent with it. This might not happen until you're, like, 50. But like, being very diligent because you're like, I know I have this like mask over my eyes with it. So like that, you know, like that like obsession with like trying to get it out. Yeah, anyways.
Your second house is pretty loaded?
Yes, it is. I don't look at my bank account balance. My roommate with the second house stellium doesn't do that either. And it gets him into shit. Like, he will just like not want to look at it. And also, do you do this thing of like, you want to try to keep as much money as possible. As much money for as long as possible in your bank account.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Does that make sense? Like, if you know, you don't want to take cash out and have cash on you. Yeah. You want to have the biggest number you possibly can for as long as you possibly can. Even if that's not your money, even that's going to cost you shit, just like, you just need to keep it in there.
It's because that's your self-worth. Yeah. That number in your bank account is your self-worth.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but I also love shopping. Yeah, duh, your Taurus moon. What time did we start this? We started this almost immediately.
Yeah, we started it almost right away. I wonder if you can see like the comments at what time they comment. Oh, I don't think so. Because then we would know.
No, but we started almost immediately.
Yeah, we started right away. We maybe had it was maybe 2 minutes in, but less.
I don't even think so, because
So I think this is
because we didn't even do our little diddle of what a drag me is. We just started it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's such a weird ending. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think that is it. We hope that you enjoyed your Drag Me. Drag Me is a service that we provide. You can buy one on our website, creatureastrology.com/shop. The title of this video is Kim's Live Drag Me Reading because we were dragging. That's the name of the video, so that's what we did.
And if your name is Kim, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for purchasing this reading, Kim. I hope you enjoyed it. It's funny it's funny when we get such similar energies of the readings. You know what I mean? I feel like we've seen a lot of tropes of our friends in our readings because like attracts like. You know, it's funny to even see it attracted online.
Your vibe attracts your trauma.
Yeah, for sure. But I've always loved as much the Capricorn Taurus Sun Moon combination. Yeah. Even before I met my roommate, I was like, I like it.
Even before you knew astrology, I like it.
Yeah, true. No, like one of my first little crushes was a Taurus Capricorn moon. Anyways, that's all.
Yes, thank you so much. And yeah, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
I'll still give $20 to anyone who can get me Luke P's chart.